Hi Alex, how's it going?
Hello, going well. Having my Sunday with procrastination after a busy week. So, how are you? I saw you in the list of information is beautiful word. How is
Oh,
your feeling about that?
oh, thank you, thank you. It's a long list. I got two of my works there. I'm quite happy, yeah, but it's a long list, so let's wait for the short list. And if I'm not sure about it, but if I'm going to get there, I'm going to be really happy. So you
Okay, great.
said that is your procrastination day, and I'm going to ruin it just because I propose you to roast some dashboards and to do some kind of work-related activity. So,
Okay,
uh,
let's imagine that this is a surprise for me. Yeah,
yeah,
roasting.
what a
Yeah.
surprise!
Oh,
Yeah, you haven't. Uh,
okay.
okay, so today we're going to roast with you a sales funnel report. Just because
Right.
the other day I had such task on my job and I needed to find some reference for such type of dashboards. And that's why we decided to roast with you not a just dashboard, but a dashboard from Tableau Exchange. And it means that it's a template that Tableau provides as a good one. So let's find out is it's a good one or not.
Um,
Well, yeah.
Spoiler. Yeah, not the very good one, right?
No. If it would be a good one, it wouldn't be in our roasting show, I believe. So,
It would
uh,
be very silent show, yeah, in this case. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
let's do that.
And by the way, we have a system of how we approach to roast our dashboards in our minds. It's related to business goals, the dashboard design, UX design, graphical design, data visualization, and technical aspects of the dashboard. So if you'd like to find more, you can find it in the link below from the video. And it's going to be in a Miro, so you can browse yourself there and find each of our points more precisely. For
Oh
now,
yeah,
I'm
that's
just,
that's
yeah.
that's that's because we're just not the guys who hates dashboards from another, yeah, authors. So yeah, we have a system, right?
We have a system
Yeah,
of
and we should
hating.
have a disclaimer, right? We have it at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, we have it.
So yeah, that we do not want we do not disrespect people who create dashboards. The idea of this um, session is about is to provide some insights and inspiration for people to pay more attention on design points, aspects, and etc. So yeah,
Yeah, no hate, but let's do it. I mean, I'm joking.
all right, yeah,
Okay, today we have a deck of dashboards. It's a system of dashboard, I would say, for sales department, and it's concentrated on a sales funnel. So the main goal of the dashboard to provide you an overview of the sales department and also to find out some bad things in your sales department, maybe some sales representation, people are working not very well, or maybe you have some steps during your sales funnel that are not so effective. So that's the main goal. And it's quite a extensive deck, I would say. It's about 7 dashboards here. And it starts with a starting page. Alex, how do you like this starting page? And by the way, what do you think about starting page in general?
um, in our team we don't have a strong position about starting pages, so sometimes we use it. We create one, especially when we have such a package of dashboards with inside one workbook, and the navigation is can be complicated for users. But so on the other hand, such a page, it's just one more tab in the report that should be adopted, that should be explained, that should be understood. So for users, and sometimes it doesn't make sense for me. And in this specific case, I see it like what can I say? It's a good one in general, but I cannot understand why these bars are here. So what's the idea to mix the navigation with some key figures and especially in this way, in not a very readable way. But I like the idea to show these buttons with use cases, like what I want to do, like as a user. So it's pretty seems like a journey for the user how to explore this report. But the place and the size of this section is it's quite strange. So it makes sense for me to put it in the I don't know left corner and remove all this design pane with Einstein face and Salesforce logo. I don't know. So the idea is can be reasonable in terms of the size of the workbook, but the way how it is designed, I don't like.
Yeah, I
Frankly
think
speaking.
that this position of the main information, generally it's located and it's not so strongly, and it would be nice to locate it another way. And by the way, I'm not quite agree with you about the journey, just because it's really quite short descriptions of each tab. So and it just could be placed just in the name of the tab, so it would be the same. So when you don't have an, I don't know, an overview or some description, it works like just the names. So I'm
Yeah,
not.
it's better to add some context actually to each and make it bigger. I mean the whole section and add some context about the what specifically what questions could be answered um, inside each dashboard and so on.
As we are quite talkative, we just want to save you some time and just speed up some parts of this video. In this particular section, we are discussing the information in upper right corner. It's quite invisible, and it's cool that it exists, but it would be nice to have it on each tab and also on the main page. Okay, so let's start with the dashboards themselves. So we have a start button, like it's
Yeah, let's
playing
do
with
that.
us, like
Start,
you
yeah.
started one.
And by the
It's
way,
yeah,
for some reason, after that, after you start, you cannot finish it. So no finish button after that.
it's
So
data analytics. There is no end in data
no end of an
analytics.
end. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
endless.
sure.
Yeah,
It's endless. No
right.
worries. So here's we have an overview of sales funnel. And it's a funny thing that the funnel itself is not so clear here. It's not so pronounced, I would say, but nevertheless.
It's in terms of sales pipeline idea, this is not the funnel at all, because funnel should show you the conversion, right? So what percentage of deals moved from prospecting to the next proposal stage, right? And what is the percentage of those that moved further? But this is just the current state. This is the amount of pipeline on each stage. So it's strictly speaking, it's not the funnel at all, right? It's just a representation that shows the distribution of deals among stages.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Without
Conversion,
conversion
right?
rates, it looks quite strange, but
Yeah, and
nevertheless, yeah.
if you even add conversion rates, it's would not be the funnel, because you need to show all deals that not right now are on this stage, but all that like
Yeah, the
past this
previous
stage.
stage,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and that's why so yeah, also strange. But by the way, they have quite an not modern but it's not sophisticated approach, but a good approach for sales funnels in terms of weighted pipeline value. They just multiply the average amount win-loss rate on a amount of money, and that's how they calculate the weighted pipeline value. So it's roughly the amount of money we are going to get after all of the deals are closed. I think it's a good idea, and it's really allows you to predict your cash flow in future, and it's quite good idea. So in this scenario, in this matter, I believe they're doing great work just because predicted. But yeah, it's really not clear about. To be honest, before you said, I was thinking that it's as you proposed that each stage represents historical data as well. But as you as you showed me, it's not so. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the current
In
stage.
in
Yeah.
Salesforce, as it actually shows the data from Salesforce, it's hard to build such a view. It's requires really like specific data preparation. So out of the box, as I know, because we have a lot of also Salesforce reports, and we struggle with building such a view. And finally, we stopped doing this because yeah, we have the conversion analysis as is also presented here, but we don't need the funnel as a visual like representation. So
Maybe let's go
um,
through the each block and briefly describe the main um,
yeah,
improvement
maybe
points.
we should
Yeah.
tell that we agreed not to go through all tabs, so we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
chosen three of them, right? Yeah.
I believe we'll show three of them. Maybe if we need, we can get
Mm-hmm.
others. But the general idea that the pain points are almost the same, especially in terms of graphical design and user experience design. And in terms of business goals, it's vary, but nevertheless, I believe we're good with that. Yeah. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
talking about each block, so the first block that seems to be the most important one with general information, it's located here, and it's quite disappointing for me in terms of structure. It's really hard to get what's going on here just because you somehow seeing three numbers that going from one to another, and you instinctively want to compare them just because, oh, 35 is 24, but it's different units and so on and so on. So it's really confusing a bit, and I think it's not a good idea. What
Yeah,
do
and
you think?
24 actually it doesn't have any bar at all, so maybe it's
Yeah,
not obvious from the beginning, but
yeah.
it's shown without bar.
No, no.
Yeah, have
Just
this.
it's just really small one because
No,
it's
no, no.
millions.
Yeah, really? I
No, no,
thought
no.
that.
I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it's a different resolution.
So yeah, yeah. I also had this suggestion about this section. Just typical KPI bricks. It will work much better. Just show clear figures and nothing else, just to make it more cluttered. Actually, I wanted to start discussing from um, before we dive into meaningful points. You know, um, for me, it's always hard to understand why building pretty mature dashboards, people like neglecting uh, putting just them pixels into the inner padding. So I'm talking about these titles, right, that are added just without any paddings, without any space, right? So I think 4, 6, or 8 pixels will just be enough. But for now, it looks ugly. It looks like a draft. It's something that is not final for me because uh, I know maybe it always sounds a bit petty, but when I see such paddings, I cannot. It's hard for me to perceive the rest of the dashboard. And so yeah, my first point is about paddings,
Well, I think yeah,
right?
that's why I saw that in your profile you write down that you are padding director. Is it
Director of
right?
paddings. Yeah, but
Director of paddings.
it's
Yeah.
uh, it's sarcasm, self irony, but yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with you. They're just awful and like just really pain for my ass. Okay, but speaking about more maybe meaningful stuff, I mean, I'm joking. It's about this division by different types of opportunities. It just, I believe, just some kind of different products or different kind of
Oh, it's opportunity types. It's
yeah,
pretty
but
typical. Yeah, yeah. It's like new business renewals or yeah, it's a
any kind of
standard field.
dimension.
Yeah.
any kind of a dimension anyway. And I think that it was really bad idea to put it just in the very beginning to divide these bars into these opportunity types, just because as we are speaking about some kind of overview, it's going to just create some mess and don't provide really good, for example, explanation about what opportunity mix we have now, just because we can compare them in this way. But it's also provides some clutter and I believe it's not so clear. And also the color legend is just located somewhere ridiculously not well, just because it's also quite in far away from these bars, and also it's located in some really awkward place between a header and the main part of the dashboard, and just wasting time space.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I discussed that the main part of the dashboard is quite cluttered and it doesn't look like a table. It works like a table with duration of the deals, but it doesn't look like that. And also that the tree maps are not working really well here, just because there is a lack of data to show it, and they are quite small for doing that. Okay, so generally, I think that it's funny thing, but this overview on the one hand is quite overcomplicated for me, just because they combine a lot of dimensions in one place, and on the other hand, doesn't provide clear overview. So that's why I would redesign it somehow and would show it dimension by dimension. We have two metrics, our number of opportunities and weighted amount, and would show them one by one. So maybe let's move on to other dashboards because this is just the first one. I believe we agreed that generally it's quite complex dashboard, but in my opinion, it's overcomplicated in this case. So let's move to performance review, I believe. Here we just discussed that the name of the tab doesn't reflect the content, and it's more not a performance review, are just details of the deals.
What is shown here, I mostly like it because for me it's very, as I've said, pretty typical case request from business to get this list of won, lost, new, but the way how it is composed, how it is presented on the view, I would improve. First, I would say here there is again this this way to structure the dashboard, this two horizontal blocks, right? Again, and the main idea is to look inside these lists, which both presented in very flat space with scrolls. And for me, it's better to reorganize it a bit. So this KPIs panes, gray bricks, can be put in one row, right? Yeah, so we can merge this into one line. I mean, even, yeah, this one, this part. And then two sections with lists organized as two vertical sections under this pane. And yeah, so it would be, it will the size of these sections would be, the list would be shown in a better way. And yeah, and maybe also sometimes I see that these types, I mean, lost, won, new, they are mixed in one list. Usually it's better to be able to show them, or at least to be able to filter them, so that probably this KPI pane can work as an action, source of actions, so that we can filter to show only won deals, only lost deals, only new deals, filtering the one list below, right? So this is how we actually design such a view for our sales team.
Yeah, it will
And
be more convenient. Sure.
yeah, right now, I mean, this lists, this, you see this space, pretty,
Yeah, too
um,
narrow.
right. So a lot of space are not used properly. So it could be shown right, yeah, like this. Yeah. Of course, it's maybe it's a minor mm, change, but I think it would be
I,
really better.
I think it would improve UX of the dashboard dramatically just because uh, when you have such a table, narrow table, it's like it's looking from a really small window into
Mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm.
big something like that, so it's not so convenient. By the way, just wanted to mention that it's quite funny, not mistake, but things that appears here, just because these KPI cards are made like a titles. I firstly thought that it's going to be something like this one is about approval, this one is a column about something like lost opportunities. Is this column is about new opportunities, and there is something just I don't know.
Yeah, then they
Uh,
discovered that this is one
yeah,
actually object, and yeah,
yeah,
the same
and
thing, right?
this looks strange.
And
Okay.
this sign of ticks near the bars, this is a noise, just something that should be removed for sure. The
Yeah.
color, I think, is enough, and
Oh,
the
I would
status.
at least if we want them to be
Yeah,
in
removed
place
left
and we
somewhere.
would place in the beginning of the row, it would look much better. And we will have something like we could see this distribution itself, just cross stick, so on. So it would be better to place it in the beginning. Okay, so then let's move on. I believe just because it's quite a good opportunity overview, I think it could be improved, but in general, it's quite okay. But it's not performance review. I think it's really a deep dive into opportunities and understanding what's going on. So let's move then to I forgot what we can do. Opportunity owner, I think. Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, it's a page about one sales representative, as I understood. So it's a page that would show
Mm.
to a head of sales or a sales rep how he or she is performing. So quite good idea, I think. What do you think about? Uh,
Yeah, the first point from my side is as long as this is opportunity own a deep dive, and to actually have to look at this board, you need to select one, right? And it's by default selected Cassandra, mm, Brando, right? And for some reason, this filter, which is, it seems like it's critical for this board, I think it should be like moved somewhere where we have right now the color legend. Like we can replace color legend and change them.
I would even
So
place it in a header. We could make it just like a part of a header,
um,
like opportunity owner, или opportunity Cassandra Brando deep dive, for example. It would be even make a sense. Sentence. I
yeah,
mean, not a
maybe
sense, make a
I would not
sentence.
do that,
Not a sentence.
but let's keep it as an option. So at
Okay.
least it should be somewhere where
Yeah.
user can see it at once. When you open it, you can just see how you can change the owner, because this is the, yeah, the principal way, the principal filter. Um, so what else? What is your point here?
I hadn't had really a deep dive into this tab, but from the glance, I would say that I really borrowed with these scatter plots. I see the point. It's quite nice to see, but
Mm-hmm.
at the first glance, you don't understand that the scatter plot. You're just thinking what's going on here, just some points, different size of them, and so on. But in reality, it's a scatter plot that also used in opportunity owners overview. So let me show it for a sec for our uh, uh, users to understand
I
what's
think
going
I
on.
think it's different. It's another scatter plot. So
I think maybe it's different, but if it's different one, then it's really. Ah, yeah, it's different. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
scatter plot. It's some kind of a strip plot or something like that. Okay, I just couldn't make my mind about that one, and that's why it looks quite strange. I would just show it like a leader table or something like that, so it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be an enigma to solve and to understand what's going on here. Uh, yeah, and generally, I think that's the main points. And the point is that also the main beauty is hidden after that button. So shall we go there? Just because I don't think that this page is really important for a sales representative, but this one is really good one. It's information about deals, and I believe they could be just not using this button, but just combined some overview with the deals underneath, and it would be nice, work nice. So
Mm-hmm.
just Alex blah blah blah. I mean, he was mentioning that there is a duplicate of names of the metrics and quite strange way to organize them. So when let's sum it up and let's finish our talk today. Uh, I'm generally in overall, it looks like a good deck of dashboard. I mean, it covers different topics. It's like compare sales reps, executive summary, and so on. And generally, it looks like a good set of dashboard. But
Mm-hmm.
the realization of it and how it made, I think it should be improved. First of all, in terms of UX design and graphical design and so on and so on,
Mm-hmm.
we mentioned already. But also, I was confused in terms of business logic. I was confused with this only one type of opportunities, just because usually you have different dimensions of your opportunities. It could be an industry with your client from, it could be a product what you are selling to them, it could be some other stuff, or a region, for example, and so on and so on. And I think there is this dashboard doesn't support this opportunity, this opportunity structure, opportunity different dimensions. It doesn't support multi-dimensional opportunity analysis. So that's why I think it could be really hard to adapt to a real sales department, I would
Mm-hmm.
say in general. But that's my thoughts. What do you think? Would you like to summarize?
I think we should give some kudos to the author. I mean, there are things that I liked, and actually I sent this um, pack of sales dashboards from Tableau from Salesforce to my team from sales domain to review what we what we can reuse, because in terms of conversion, we right now redesigning our dashboards that shows conversion. So I think that we can look how it is shown here to think maybe to somehow blend this with our charts. But and I would say that there are really nice things about navigation and switching the views with this hard to it's hard to find them, as we already uh, told, but the idea is to give this flexibility. It's something that really enriches the experience for users. It's right solution. Um,
I'm not sure about
what's
that.
um, when
When you can,
it's always a challenge when you receive a lot of requirements, right? And different users, and you
no,
build
it's a
across
rubbish.
it.
No,
You,
don't
you
go
build
there.
you
It's a
build across.
rubbish. No,
No, no,
no,
no,
don't go there.
wrong.
Ah,
You are the one who just like the to
yeah,
build the
fairy tale. Yeah, for
very
sure.
when the report is cross-functional and thousands of users should use it, right?
Yeah, I built
It's really
such.
a case, and sometimes people require some kind of specific view for them, or maybe for the whole team, for line of business, and you need to implement this change inside one pack, just not to split it into several reports. And this kind of solutions with icon to change the view from table to chart, from chart to another way of looking at it. So it can be something that that makes the dashboard more functional, at the same time saves the the UI, right? So
No,
I think
I'm not agreeing
that's
with it. Yeah.
acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable. I mean, it's really it's a matter of design and the UX flow. So that's why it's
Okay.
always you're just creating some really complex UX in a dashboard. And
That's because you
we are not
focus on
building
dashboards. You focus
apps.
on dashboards. I'm focusing on
Oh, data
the
products, yeah,
reports. Yep,
data
yep.
products.
I'm focusing on functional apps applications,
Okay,
right?
okay, sure.
Right. So
Then you use
dashboarding is it's something that we
then you
keep in
should use
past,
low
right?
code platforms for creating apps, not
Sure. Yeah.
dashboards. So that's it. So thank you all for watching. I think this was quite good. I hope it wasn't so boring. And our crucial fight in the end, I think it was quite nice one. And we shall continue it and maybe discuss it further just because you haven't. Uh, I mean, no, I'm not agree with you anyway. So thanks you all and see you next time. Alex, thank you.
Thank you, and add your opinions about the questions that we discussed. Actually, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
we both wrong, right? And to do the same things in another way. So yeah.